So, data, the fuel for artificial intelligence. Welcome to Data as the Fuel for AI chapter. So, this chapter basically talks about how the role of big data, the importance of data privacy, and ethics in data. Understanding data, I believe every one of you might have heard the word data before. And when you hear the word data, what comes to your mind? What comes to your mind? It basically means information collected and analyzed to support decision making. So data can come in different ways. It can come as in numbers, images, text, or sound. If you have ever filled a questionnaire before, all you did was to fill in your data. The reason you filled that questionnaire is that the owner of the questionnaire will be able to get data to analyze some kind of results to make decisions. So it might be, I'm going to get the names of all the Christians in the world, or let's not say that. That's a bit complicated because of privacy. Let's say I'm going to get the age range of people going to church, people that go to church often. So of course the first thing I need to do is to seek consent, write a letter to all the churches in the world and get their details. And for some people that would not want to reveal their names, we could just use random numbers for their names, but their age is going to be real. So we are protecting their data right as that. And I get the range. I analyze the data, which I'm going to still explain later in the course how that is done. And so we moving to big data in AI development. When I gather like 100 to like 100,000, 400,000, that's still normal data. But when I begin to start gathering data of, me gathering the data of every person that goes to church in the world, that is big data development, because I know the data is going to be wide, like probably going to 100 million data sets. So that is big data. So big data might look, this thing looks complicated. No, it's just extremely large data sets that can analyze computationally to review patterns, trends, and associations. And the first thing in the big data collection in the big data game is data collection. The first thing anyone wants to do is to collect data. I posted on my Instagram page, Jesus in Tech, about the fact that complaints are in a competition to get the largest amount of data, because in this age that we have now, data is power. So check out Jesus and Tech page on Instagram and check out the video. And the next thing is data processing. You need to, so I mentioned that there are some people that would not like to review their names when gathering the number of churchgoers in the world. So in that case, it is in the processing of the data that I can replace these people's names with an ID number like 00011, 00012, 001 till just to protect their data. And the next thing is the model training. I need to now train this data. What are the insights that we can derive from this data? It shows that women actually go to church than men. It shows that children actually go to church than youth. It shows that fathers and children have similar church attendance. So from this model training, I can get my prediction and analysis, and this will help me generate insights and make accurate prediction. So it is essential that for you to gather data, you need to go through collection, processing, model training, and prediction to get your result. It is very good to gather data, we should we need to also be knowledgeable about the data privacy and ethics. And the truth is, for every region, for every city, they are governed by AI regulations. They are governed by AI regulations, from the GDPR to NDPR for Nigeria, GDPR for the United Kingdom, EU AI Act for the European Union. That's all I can't remember the one for US now. But what these bodies do is that they protect the rights of humans. So when it comes to data gathering, they ensure there is no data breach. I mean, at Facebook, Meta was currently sued about 13 billion euros for data breach. So it meant that they did not protect the rights of the users, or they manipulated in one way or the other in the terms and conditions. And then this regulation got hold of them, and so this is what happens for every complaint that goes through a data breach. You get fined for going through that. That is why it is essential for anyone, if you're a business person and you're listening to this course, you need to be clear with your terms and conditions when gathering data, not try to manipulate us. And how many of you read terms and conditions? Like, you listening to me, do you read terms and conditions? Let's even start from that, because I think I'm guilty of this too, but I've really improved over time. But the truth is, terms and conditions are meant to guide us on why the complaint, on what the complaint is going to do with our data, basically. So they talk about consent privacy, and it is sad that some of these complaints try to manipulate us by writing out 90 pages. How do you expect me to read 90 pages terms and conditions? Like, I think about a few weeks ago, my sister showed me a house contract she got. It was 84 pages. Like, what are you saying? What are you saying? So some of these guys know that the longer the page, the more difficult it becomes to read. So they just put all the information they want to put, and unknowingly to we the users, we just click yes and move on. But we didn't know what we signed. That's why it is essential that we learn to read terms and conditions now. So the data privacy is there to protect our personal information, ensure fair use of data, and through the regulatory frameworks, we trust that we will be protected. We trust that we will be protected. But just in case we are not, I really believe in taking responsibility for your life. So get knowledge, and that is one of the reasons why you're taking this course. So what are the ethical use of AI? I mean, you need to know the ethical use of AI so that when a complaint messes up with you, you can easily sue them. The first one is transparency. For anyone gathering your data, there needs to be transparency. So, talking about the data we are gathering, which is gathering the number of churchgoers in the world, transparency is actually communicating clearly that, hello guys, good morning church, this is what we are doing with your data. Now, if they don't agree, you don't have the right to take their data. After communication, if they don't agree, you don't have the right, because some complaints still go ahead to do what they want to do. If without the person's knowledge, now they still go ahead to do what they want to do. So it is essential that there is clear communication about how your data will be used. Then fairness. This is to ensure that there is no bias in the AI decision making. I mean, I saw this AI tool one time, which painted blacks as criminals and painted white criminals as innocent. So he painted innocent blacks as criminals. He painted guilty whites as not guilty. I mean, that is fairness in that. So the machine is not fair enough to make decisions. So we need to also know the next one is accountability. Who is going to be accountable? I am going on a journey to gather the data of every churchgoer. Anything that happens with your data, hold me responsible. That is accountability. Hold me responsible. You find a mistake, you find a breach, hold me responsible. It's funny how, let's say for example now, okay, so Elon Musk's Tesla just released a self-driving car, and you get to enter into a self-driving car, and the self-driving car had an accident. Who is going to be blamed? Is it the person in the car, or, I mean, you can't sue a robot for God's sake, or the manufacturers? There needs to be someone that's going to take accountability for anything that happens, for the AI outcomes, basically. So yeah, and the next one is safeguarding privacy information. There needs to be we need to enable safeguarding measures for us when we are at risk, when our data is at risk. So yeah, that is that about that. Thank you for watching chapter 3 of our course. Up next, we'll explore more about how AI is used in various industries.